Hello, and a very warm welcome, especially to all the students of Europe Hotel School joining us today. As an expert in how AI is shaping modern hospitality, I'm thrilled to be part of your learning journey. Today, we're diving into a really critical and honestly often overlooked part of hotel management, getting a handle on the cost of every single drink poured.
So here's what we're going to cover in this explainer. First, we'll get to the heart of the problem with managing beverages, and we'll put a real number on it. Then, we'll pivot to the exciting part, the AI-powered solution. We'll break down how it actually works, and finally, we'll see how this tech can turn waste into pure profit and completely reshape the culture of a bar.
All right, let's jump right in. Let's talk about the fundamental challenge of managing liquids in a fast-paced hotel environment.
Right, hidden losses. That's the key phrase here. Your bar is a massive revenue generator for sure, but it's also a place where profits can just vanish. Silently, pour by pour, often without anyone even noticing.
Think about it like this. If a chef starts the night with 10 steaks, it's pretty darn easy to see if one is missing at the end of the shift. But how do you track half an ounce of whiskey that was over-poured, or a beer that a bartender gave to a regular on the house but never rang in? Liquids are fluid, not just literally, but financially too, and that makes the old-school way of counting bottles almost pointless.
So, all these little drips and extra splashes, how much do they really add up to? Let's put some real numbers to this problem.
You know, in many hotels, a 30% beverage cost is just considered normal. It's even seen as acceptable. It's the cost of doing business, right? Managers budget for it, finance departments expect it. It's just this massive line item on the profit and loss statement.
And here's the multi-million-dollar question that the best operators are asking themselves right now. Is that 30% really the cost of the booze, or is a huge chunk of it just leakage? You know, overpouring, mistakes, unrecorded comps, even theft. What if you could isolate that waste and just turn it back into profit?
Well, this brings us to the turning point in our story. We're finally moving away from centuries of guesswork and into a new era of data-driven, absolute precision.
This is where artificial intelligence steps onto the scene. The most elite hotels are now using incredible platforms like BevSpot. And let me tell you, this technology goes so far beyond just counting bottles at the end of the night. It uses AI to track where every single drop of liquor, wine, and beer actually goes.
So, how in the world does it actually do that? Let's pull back the curtain a little bit and demystify the tech. Let's see how these systems create so much clarity. The whole process is actually pretty straightforward, but it's incredibly powerful. First, the system uses tools like smart spouts and digital scales to track every ounce that leaves a bottle or a tap. Second, it pulls all the sales data directly from your point of sale system, your register. Then, the AI simply compares what was poured to what was sold. Any little mismatch gets flagged instantly.
And that discrepancy? It has a name: variance. This is the key metric. So if the system knows that 1,000 ounces of a certain beer were poured, but the register only shows sales for 800 ounces, well, you've got a 200-ounce variance. That's product that has simply vanished without bringing in a single cent of revenue.
And visually, it looks just like this. That first bar, the taller one, that's the product you actually used. The second one is what you were actually paid for. That gap right in the middle, that's your hidden loss, finally brought out into the light. What was once just an accepted part of that normal 30% cost is now a specific, actionable piece of data.
Now, this is really important to understand. This is not about being Big Brother or just trying to catch thieves. In fact, that 200-ounce variance is almost never due to theft. It's much more likely to be a bartender who needs a little coaching on pouring the perfect Guinness to cut down on foam waste, or maybe someone who is consistently using the wrong size jigger. This data turns a problem into a very specific coaching opportunity.
And this new ability to identify and correct all these small issues, well, it leads directly to some very tangible benefits for the business.
Suddenly, the bar manager is no longer just supervising the staff and ordering product. They're transformed into a data analyst. They can stop guessing where the problems might be and start making truly strategic decisions based on hard evidence, shift by shift, even bartender by bartender.
All of this data feeds into a super powerful dashboard. In an instant, a manager can see which spirits are their most profitable and should be featured. They can spot slow-moving inventory that's just tying up cash on a shelf. They can even compare performance across different shifts to see who might need a little extra support. It's a game changer.
And the financial result of all this? It can be absolutely staggering. By actively managing this variance, a hotel can typically cut its beverage costs by 5 to 10 percentage points. Now, since sales volume stays the same, that entire savings, which is often tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, goes straight to the bottom line as pure profit.
But the impact goes so much further than just the financial statement. It fundamentally changes the entire professional environment behind the bar.
And this leads to what is maybe the most important takeaway of all. When your team knows that every single ounce is accounted for, it builds a culture of precision. Bartending becomes less about pure speed and more about perfect, mindful technique. This level of professionalism doesn't just protect profit, it elevates the craft itself, and ultimately, it creates a much better guest experience.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. The tools to eliminate these hidden losses are here. They exist right now. The challenge for you, as the next generation of hospitality leaders, is to figure out how you will use this data not just to cut costs, but to build smarter, more profitable, and truly exceptional operations from the ground up.